Welcome, guys. Welcome to the Intellectual Property and Trade Nexus podcast. Wherever you are following us from, welcome to our live podcast. Thank you for your continuous support, for always taking time off your basic schedule to go through the videos, to make comments, to make inquiries. But like I always do, I encourage you guys to make more comments, more inquiries. If you have any doubt or any issue you might want to know about intellectual property and international trade, you can leave your questions, your comments, and queries. We are willing and open to address them. So today we will be continuing on our last podcast discussing the World Intellectual Property Organization. What is the World Intellectual Property Organization? The WIPO. And we will be concluding on an overview of what the World Intellectual Property Organization is. The last time we have had our first episode, and today we'll be having a second episode to conclude this overview of what the World Intellectual Property Organization is. So we also did that. We also have another version on the World Trade Organization. We had 2 episodes because it could only do justice to us to have 2 episodes covering the both organizations, the World Trade Organization 2 episodes and the World Intellectual Property Organization 2 episodes. So today happens to be the second episode concluding on an overview of the World Intellectual Property Organization. Thank you for joining. Thank you for following. Always encourage to like, share, comment, and make inquiries. Now the last time we tried playing the video depicting, just giving a summary of what the World Intellectual Property Organization is, but unfortunately the audio was not on. But today we'll make sure that the audio is on so you can have a gist on what the World Intellectual Property Organization. This video covers it in a summary. So let's go to the video and watch it from here.
Mankind's progress. Without innovation, your phone wouldn't be smart, there'd be no GPS, no music.
Okay, let's start.
Innovation. Innovation, the uniquely human force that drives mankind's progress. Without innovation, your phone wouldn't be smart, there'd be no GPS, no music on the go, and no HD video, stories without special effects, no colour, no sound. And unable to look inside the human body, doctors would be in the dark. The intellectual property system exists to encourage the innovators and creators who make the world a better place. The World Intellectual Property Organization, a specialized agency of the United Nations, helps them do this every day across the globe. WIPO provides a forum where governments debate and shape intellectual property laws, such as copyright laws, to adapt them to the changing needs of our global digital society. WIPO's goal is to make intellectual property work for everyone. WIPO operates international filing systems that make it easier to protect and promote inventions, brands, and designs across borders. Everyone, from individual inventors and small businesses to the world's biggest companies, can file a single application through WIPO's PCT, Madrid and Hague systems to apply for protection in countries across the world. This saves them time and money. In the last 50 years, WIPO has processed over 4.5 million international patent, trademark and design applications for everything, from machine tools to medicines to solar panels. And when disagreements arise over IP, WIPO provides arbitration and mediation as an alternative to costly court proceedings. WIPO gives people the tools to use IP effectively, helping people in developing countries to make a living from their ingenuity and creativity. That means more opportunity and more jobs. Innovation requires information. WIPO provides free access to IP information, including more than 55 million patent documents and more than 25 million records of trademarks and designs. And WIPO trains tens of thousands of people every year how to access, learn from, and use all this priceless information. Since its inception over 100 years ago, the global IP system overseen by WIPO has helped create an environment where innovation and creativity can flourish. That means more minds creating new technologies to conquer the world's problems, more music and more ways to listen to it, more art and culture, and more knowledge reaching us in ever-increasing ways. Every day, creative people all over the world are finding new ways to improve our future. WIPO and the intellectual property system help make that happen.
So that's the summary of what the World Intellectual Property Organization is, what it does, what it is engaged in, the objective of the foundation of this organization, and basically all it takes to administer innovation, to develop innovation, to promote and to sustain innovation. So WIPO, the WIPO is that organization, a club with that responsibility. So to do justice to my audience, I'm going to play this video again. Initially, the first episode on WIPO, we played this video, but the audio was not on. So we are going to do justice to play this video for the second time with the audio. Thank you for following.
Innovation, the uniquely human force that drives mankind's progress. Without innovation, your phone wouldn't be smart, there'd be no GPS, no music on the go, and no HD video, stories without special effects, no colour, no sound. And unable to look inside the human body, doctors would be in the dark. The intellectual property system exists to encourage the innovators and creators who make the world a better place. The World Intellectual Property Organization, a specialized agency of the United Nations, helps them do this every day across the globe. WIPO provides a forum where governments debate and shape intellectual property laws, such as copyright laws, to adapt them to the changing needs of our global digital society. WIPO's goal is to make intellectual property work for everyone. WIPO operates international filing systems that make it easier to protect and promote inventions, brands, and designs across borders. Everyone, from individual inventors and small businesses to the world's biggest companies, can file a single application through WIPO's PCT, Madrid and Hague systems to apply for protection in countries across the world. This saves them time and money. In the last 50 years, WIPO has processed over 4.5 million international patent, trademark and design applications for everything, from machine tools to medicines to solar panels. And when disagreements arise over IP, WIPO provides arbitration and mediation as an alternative to costly court proceedings. WIPO gives people the tools to use IP effectively, helping people in developing countries to make a living from their ingenuity and creativity. That means more opportunity and more jobs. Innovation requires information. WIPO provides free access to IP information, including more than 55 million patent documents and more than 25 million records of trademarks and designs. And WIPO trains tens of thousands of people every year how to access, learn from, and use all this priceless information. Since its inception over 100 years ago, the global IP system overseen by WIPO has helped create an environment where innovation and creativity can flourish. That means more minds creating new technologies to conquer the world's problems, more music and more ways to listen to it, more art and culture, and more knowledge reaching us in ever-increasing ways. Every day, creative people all over the world are finding new ways to improve our future. WIPO and the intellectual property system help make that happen.
Good. So that brings to end the video summary of what WIPO is and what WIPO is engaged in as an international organization, a member of the United Nations Specialized Organization. So we will be going to the last episode. We talk about the states, we talk about the Director General, 8 able deputies, and today we'll look at the budget, the results and budget of WIPO. We'll look at technical assistance that WIPO is providing to its member states, specifically developing, least developed and low-income countries. We'll look at IP training and institutions. We could also look at national IP strategies. But basically, we look at technical assistance, IP training, institutions, IP training institutions. We could also look at the areas WIPO is involved in administering in innovation and some of the agreements. So we could look at 4 issues basically. Technical assistance, IP training institutions, resource and budget. Another thing I want for us to look at is WIPO arbitration and mediation. So we'll look at WIPO arbitration and mediation. But let's begin with technical assistance. Let's begin with WIPO technical assistance. So most often when we hear about technical assistance when it comes to international organizations that are member state driven, what comes to mind is the ability Excuse me 1 minute, please. Excuse me, sorry for that interruption. So like I was saying, technical assistance in the context of international organizations basically refers to assistance that can be given to improve the outcome, the participation, the engagement of a specific category of member states. So most international organization membership is categorized. Maybe I can put them in 3 categories. The developed countries, the developing countries, the least developed countries, and countries of low economies. I can put them in 1 category. So we have 3 categories of membership that is in most international organizations, countries like international organizations like the World Intellectual Property Organization, the World Trade Organization, the UN, UNTAC, International Trade Center. All these international organizations that are member state driven, whenever we speak about technical assistance in that context, we are referring to assistance, material, financial assistance that can be given to improve the outcome of members that are in the developing, least developed, and countries of low economies category. So for the developed country, they don't really require technical assistance in that vein. They might need because they already have the technical capacity, the financial capacity, the developmental capacity, and technology-wise, they are more advanced. And so the developed countries, member states in return can individually make donations, give out grants to this international organization, be it WTO, be it WIPO, for specific technical assistance driven support. So aside from, in this case, WIPO apportioning some monies for technical assistance in its budget, developed member states of WIPO can set aside maybe a donation of 1 million, 2 million, 5 million, depending on their willingness to provide that financial assistance. They can make that available for WIPO to use that money to help foster technical assistance activities. So this is what we refer to as technical assistance, but particularly in the context of WIPO, when we talk about technical assistance, we are referring to assistance that is provided by this organization to help its developing and least developed members improve their performance, improve their overall output in facilitating the affairs of developing intellectual property, promoting, protecting intellectual property. So technical assistance. So the WIPO offer technical assistance development support both for governments and users of the intellectual property system. So it's not only a portion to member states that are in need of said technical assistance, but also users of the intellectual property system, those in the private sector, those in tertiary institution from the academic background, those conducting critical research that are innovation driven. And so these group of people are provided technical assistance to improve the developmental capacity to engage in intellectual property sustenance. They say WIPO activities in this area are needs driven and tailor made. So what Liberia may need in terms of technical assistance might not be the same technical assistance that is required for South Africa, because they are not on the same developmental power, economic power, and they don't have the same capacity in terms of IP protection. So their needs may vary, and WIPO is equipped and enough to provide each country their needs-driven and tailor-made technical assistance. So like I said, they are financed technical assistance activities by WIPO is financed both using the regular budget as well as funds in trust contribution. So I just stated that member states, developed members, or even developing members that have the capacity, aside from WIPO's regular budget that allots funding toward technical assistance, these developed and developing member states that have the financial capacity can donate fundings toward technical assistance activities. So they are funded both from the regular budget as well as funds in trust contributions. So WIPO coordinates and plans out the technical assistance to government and the users of the IP systems, including universities and SMEs. So those in the private sector, small, medium enterprises. So through focal points across the organization. So within respective, if you are engaged in patents, if you are SME engaged in let's say trademark, if you are a university engaged in artificial intelligence, IP and artificial intelligence engagement, these technical assistance will be provided by experts, by staff members within respective division or across the World Intellectual Property Organization. And they can deploy or apply technical assistance in the form of project-based methodology for implementation of WIPO developmental agenda. So the overall WIPO developmental agenda provides the framework on how technical assistance will be provided to as technical assistance opportunities might be provided for member states, maybe through pilot project or initiatives that can help the country respond to maybe in terms of when we were facing the COVID pandemic, COVID-19, and build up better with regard to specific obligations or specific area of interest. So this is how WIPO carry out a technical assistance program. The technical assistant is set up to prioritize member states and the users of the IP systems. The activities within the technical assistance are needs-driven and tailor-made that in order to address specific country needs or user needs and user interests. The technical assistance activities are financed activities. The technical assistance activities are financed by regular budget allotments as well as donation made from developing member states or other international organizations. The activities are coordinated and planned out for government to provide technical assistance to government and users of the IP system. So we have universities, we have SMEs. So basically, these are the targets. And through the WIPO developmental agenda, is spelled out the methodology required, which is the methodology required is project-based for implementation. So in the WIPO developmental agenda, it is also well articulated on how technical assistance activities will be delivered to member states and users. So that does it for technical assistance activities executed at WIPO. Now we look at the IP training institutions. Let's look at IP training institutions because we want to understand how WIPO engages in providing trainings, capacity development for its member. So we have IP training institutions. IP training institutions. Institutions engaged in intellectual property capacity development. So the WIPO Academy helps member states set up intellectual property training institutions, which refer to as the IPTRs, and is intended to meet their local intellectual property training and skills building needs in a scalable and cost-effective way. So within respective countries, there are institutions set up to continue to provide trainings, capacity development, skills building for those interested or those engaged in intellectual property administration or management. The RPTR's first launch was in 2010 after recommendation from the Committee on Development and Intellectual Property. The Committee on Development and Intellectual Property recommended that IP trainings and institutions be prioritized. So in 2010, they launched this. And since then, there have been a lot of tailored-made sustainable models and capacity building delivered in countries and delivered to users. And this is one of WIPO's most in-demand services. Working with IP, working with universities to deliver IP trainings. So how does the IP training institution operate? How does they work? How they do the work? So WIPO Academy support member states in setting up their own training centers. And it is done by ensuring that they equip national and regional trainers with the teaching and technical skills needed to deliver programs targeted to key audience such as small and medium enterprises, women, and the youth. So across countries, depending on the needs, the capacity needs of each member state, WIPO then we target them nationally or regionally with teaching, providing trainings for the trainers with teaching and technical skills to deliver the targeted program. And TD audiences are prioritized. We're talking about small and medium enterprises, women, and youth groups. So there's design a strategic business plan for the center's operation. How does the center operate, the sustenance of the center, and all what have you. Guiding partners on the design and delivery of the impact training program to innovate formats. So each of the partner may be other international organizations that are interested in IP development or capacity development. They provide them with the design, the strategic business plan, the design of the project, and based on their interest, they can provide support. So it's basically offering IP resources and material for setting up libraries. So within a specific university, there will be a particular library set up, for those interested in understanding, learning intellectual property issues to go there to, use the library to improve their knowledge and skills, as well as helping them and lastly helping them build an online presence. So they were equipped, they were WIPO were through the WIPO Academy will deliver the IP training institutions nationally and regionally by first training the trainers of trainers, providing them teaching and technical skills that is targeted for the program. You are going to target key audience, SMEs, women and youth group. The next step is to design the strategic business plans for the center operation. Then they provide guidance to partners on the design and delivery on the impact of the training programs in innovation formats. They offer IP resources and material for setting up libraries at various local universities, and they help build an online process. online presence, which is basically within that facility, students or those interested in understanding IP and learning IP can go there and do online courses. So each IP training institute takes approximately 2 years and a half to be set up. And during the second year, most of the institutions are already providing training and delivering capacity building activities. So those IP training institutes that are already organized and established, they provide regular training, often to SMEs, how SME can use intellectual property to improve their small and medium businesses. Specifically in the technology sector, those in the food sector, those in the hospitality industry, those in agri-production. So these are the targeted demographic of SMEs that the IP Training Institute target to improve their performance and overall output on an economy. And the other well-versed IP Training Institutes provide training opportunities for IP monetization and commercialization. So those are that are well-branded, well-versed with the technical capacity, also offer training in IP monetization and commercialization for entrepreneurs, giving them the technical know-how on how to monetize and commercialize technology, how to use technology in their business. And this IP Training Institute most often advertise the training opportunities locally or through their website, maybe through radio, jingles, and announcements. So the events are basically published so those interested in improving their IP capacity or understanding what IP is can have the opportunity to move to those IP Training Institute to acquire the necessary knowledge that is needed to improve their business, to improve their understanding or engagement in IP activities. So WIPO, through its developmental agenda, makes technical assistance and the continuation of the projects related to IP Training Institute a priority, and through annually they provide budgetary allotments to ensure they sustain all these trainings with specific institutions. And this is not only with IP trainings delivered to SMEs, women groups, and youth, but also capacity development in terms of giving out scholarship opportunities, providing the infrastructure to do online training, either at the National IP Training Institute or the Regional IP Training Institute, or within specific universities that WIPO have derived an arrangement with, that they can provide specific training, maybe IP and IP and artificial intelligence, IP and let's say innovations. There are specific master programs, bachelor's programs that education is given, IP education is given at the tertiary institution. you're going to pursue a bachelor's degree in intellectual property or a master degree or master of laws in intellectual property and artificial intelligence. So there is not only limited to 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 just maybe trainings, but also acquiring an education from an academic institution or university, going to acquire a bachelor's degree in IP or a master of laws in IP or a master of science in intellectual property. So WIPO make that a priority to ensure that they continue to turn the innovation wheel, the capacity development, that future generations will have the knowledge, the expertise required, and the manpower capacity to continue to administer IP management as well as sustenance, the sustainability of the IP system. Now we move to the budget. Let's look at WIPO resource and budget. What is the financial capacity of WIPO? So we have here results, budget, and performance. In July 2023, member states of the World Intellectual Property Organization approved the program of work and budget for the 2024 and 2025 biennium. So biennium specifically 2 years. 2024 and 2025 biennium, 2 years budget. So in July 2023, 2024 and 2025 biennium was approved by the WIPO member states for program of work and budget. WIPO is unusual among UN organizations in that they are almost entirely self-financing. So that's a distinction between WIPO and other UN, United Nations organization. WIPO is almost entirely self-financing international organization. In our program of work and budget for 2024-2025, so basically 2024-2025 is a budget period from 2024 to 2025. It's not actually 2 years, because in 2025 there will be another budget period from 2025 to 2026. So it's a biennium because basically it runs in between 2 years, but it doesn't actually last for 2 years in general. So I hope you can, just the clarity I wanted to provide. So in our program of work and budget for 2024-2025, we estimate that our overall income will reach over 970 million Swiss francs. So this is the projection for 2024 and 2025, the overall income that will be generated. And that our expenditure will amount to about 857 million Swiss francs. 857 million Swiss francs. So let me do the calculation. 970 minus 857. You have 113 million as profit. 113. So they are projecting that the next budget year running from 2024 to 2025, they are projecting that the overall income that will be generated will be over 970 million Swiss francs. And they are also projecting that the expenditure will amount to about 857 million Swiss francs. If you deduct 857 million from 970 million, you have a balance of 113 million. So this is WIPO's projection for income generation. Let me check my marketing. Mark still working. Excuse me there. Excuse me for a second. I think my Mac is giving me some problem. That will be generated. Excuse me there. Excuse me. Okay, Mac is still on. Okay, Mac is still on. So, an amount of 113 million will be left after the deduction of the expenditure from the projected income that will be generated. Of our overall income, approximately 95% are generated from fee-paying services, which we provide to users of the global intellectual property system, namely the Patent Corporation Treaty, the Madrid, the Hague, and the Lisbon systems. So most of the fees, an approximately amount of 95% are generated from the Patent Corporation Treaty, the Madrid, the Hague, and the Lisbon system. So this is how WIPO budget, the results of WIPO budget and performance is as of the projection for 2024 and 2025. And these organizations are very transparent. We see here the program of work and budget for 2024-2025. There's a draft budget. I don't know if it's approved. Medium-term strategic plan for 2022-2026. No, it's different. I think it's budget related or goals related. So this is it. This is WIPO's budget. A projection of 970 million to be generated from 2024 to 2025, and a projection of 857 million Swiss francs to be expended within that budget period. And an amount of 130 million will be a surplus made by this organization. So that does it for the WIPO's budget performance. I'm going to look at vacancy. No, vacancy will not really be so tough. We deal with technical assistance, the RP training institution, and WIPO budget. What next? What next is WIPO arbitration. So we want to understand WIPO arbitration and mediation, because we have to do a comparative analysis on how WIPO addresses dispute in contrast with how WTO addresses the dispute. So we'll look at the WIPO arbitration and mediation approach. because there are two different approaches to resolving disputes. WIPO have the disputes, no, the World Trade Organization has the dispute settlement understanding, it has the dispute settlement body, and through the WTO Secretariat, complaints can be made by member states having disagreement or confrontation with another member, can lodge its complaint to the through the WIPO Secretariat to the dispute settlement body. Depending on the merit of that complaint, an investigation can be launched. A panel can be set up to investigate and make a determination on the outcome of that case. So the World Trade Organization has the dispute settlement understanding, the dispute settlement body that investigates and make a determination on the outcome of each cases. So within a WIPO system, we have the trade wars. You can relate to the trade wars between the United States and China. The trade wars, the wars of China, Xi Jinping and Donald Trump, the trade wars. So that is the World Trade Organization. So today we will look at how the World Intellectual Property Organization resolve disputes among its member states. So the WIPO arbitration and mediation approach. So within WIPO, within the World Intellectual Property Organization, there is an arbitration and mediation center that is set up to basically address disputes among member states, among users of the IP system. So briefly want to look at what are the objective, what are they engaged in, what is the approach to resolving disputes at WIPO. The World Intellectual Property Organization Arbitration and Mediation Center offers time and cost efficient alternative dispute resolution ADR options such as mediation, arbitration, expedited arbitration, and expert determination to enable private parties to settle their domestic or cross-border commercial disputes. The WIPO Center is international and specialized in IP and technology disputes. The WIPO Arbitration and Mediation Center is also the global leader in the provision of domain name disputes resolution services under the WIPO design UDRP. So this is briefly what the WIPO Arbitration and Mediation Center engages in. They offer time and cost efficient alternative dispute resolution options. So they provide the options to address disputes in a cost and time efficient manner. So they provide mediation services, arbitration services, expedited arbitration, and expert determination to enable private parties to settle their domestic as well as cross-border commercial disputes. So the WIPO Arbitration Center is specialized in IP and technology disputes. The center is also renowned for being a global leader in the provision of domain name dispute resolution services. So in terms of domain name, maybe a website or a specific domain name, and you have a conflict with another person on your domain name, the right place to go to address that dispute or that conflict or that issue or disagreement, WIPO Arbitration and Mediation Center is a renowned global leader in domain name resolution services under the WIPO design UDRP. So this is how WIPO addresses disputes among users of the IP system. It could be a member states, it could be so member states could have specific committees that could address and try to resolve. And if internally it's not resolved, you can choose to, aside from using the legal system, the national legal system, maybe the court system, or go into the law to ensure that you use the court system. You can also use the WIPO arbitration and dispute resolution system. That is an option that you can use. So moving forward, we want to okay, let me go to WIPO mediation dispute settlement. Yeah, look at it here. So you can see we have changed here. Mediation dispute. So this can be following. You understand what I'm. Alright, so this is it. This is WIPO ADR. So let's look at why consider WIPO ADR. Why should you consider it? WIPO ADR is specialized, flexible, and confidential. It is consensual nature often results in a less adversary process, allowing the parties to begin, continue, and enhance profitable business relationship with each other. If well managed, ADR can save time and money. So this is why you stand to benefit if you chose or decided to opt for the WIPO arbitration and mediation resolution. The system is specialized, so you have technical people in that field that are well versed in the issue of arbitration and mediation. The system is flexible, so in terms of conducting the actual process, meetings, consultations, and it's confidential, so you can rest assured that whatsoever information that is provided to WIPO during the process of arbitration and mediation will be kept confidential. So it saves you less adversary process. So instead of being in a very tense dispute with another business partner, WIPO will ensure that they make it much consensual that the both parties can come to an amicable solution that will ensure that the business you are engaged in, you can save money to spend on your business rather than using it in a court process. So these are why you stand to gain when you use the WIPO arbitration system. Who can use WIPO ADR? WIPO ADR or Arbitration and Mediation Center it have been used have been used largely by companies, small and medium enterprises, startups across industry and sectors, artists, inventors, research and development centers, universities, producers, and collecting societies. So these are the users of the IPO ADR. And largely, they are companies, they are small and medium enterprises, they are inventors, artists, universities, producers, collecting societies, as well as research and development centers. Do you want to include WIPO ADR clause in a contract? This is a good question. So WIPO Arbitration and Mediation Center provides recommended ADR contract clauses to facilitate party agreement to refer a dispute to WIPO ADR. The WIPO Center also makes available WIPO clause generator. So if you are doing a contract with a partner, WIPO is saying that they can make recommendations if you consulted them, if you made a request to inquire or get knowledge on what contract clauses can be used within a specific contract you are doing. WIPO is available and willing to provide that service to you to ensure that your contract can have certain clauses that when a dispute arises, you can opt for using a WIPO ADR system. And WIPO also has made available a WIPO clause generator. So within this clause generator, you can use it to generate would-be clauses, and after that, you can consult with your legal team to see how appropriate those clauses would be to address issues of eventuality should in case it happen in the future. Are you already involved in a dispute? This is another good question. The WIPO Center makes available procedural information and filing guidelines for WIPO mediation, arbitration, and expert determination options. The WIPO Center also provides good offices services. If you are involved in a domain name dispute, you can visit WIPO Domain Name Dispute Resolution Services website. So these are all the options that is available to parties involved in disputes, and this is the system that WIPO has to address disputes arising among users of the IP system. So this is the WIPO arbitration and mediation resolution, and is provided by the WIPO Arbitration and Mediation Center. WIPO Academy. I think we can conclude on WIPO Academy. WIPO Academy. I am an alumni of the WIPO Academy, so I think we can conclude on WIPO Academy. Conclude on WIPO Academy. And this does it for this episode of the IP and Trade Nexus. I have to do the setting in a way that you can be able to read properly the font from Facebook, because the font size is very, very small. It's hard to read. I will have to work on my setting that the next stream episode that the audience will be able to read the stream and understand what we are going through. Sorry for that. So WIPO Academy. The WIPO Academy is the Center of Excellence for Intellectual Property Education, Training, and Skills Building for WIPO member states. In particular, developing countries, least developed countries, LDCs, and countries in transition. The academy works to help build human capacity in IP, which is essential to innovation and creativity. So these are some of the programs. You have the access to WIPO e-learning. This is the e-learning. The screen is not good for you guys to really see this. Enjoy. So WIPO e-learning center, our rich portfolio of courses on IP caters to different target audiences, inventors and creators, business managers, IP professionals, policy makers, and government officials of IP institutions, diplomats, students and teachers of IP and civil society. Courses combine traditional face-to-face and distance learning methodologies, which explain how to stimulate innovation, creativity, and development. So we have the training catalog, we have the registration and enrollments, we have the online courses. So WIPO Academy, this is WIPO Academy. It provides the WIPO Academy programs. We have professional development, we have university partnership. We are happy to benefit from. I got a scholarship, a full scholarship, and I did my Master of Laws in Intellectual Property at the University of Turin in Italy. Then we have the distance learning. We have summer school. I also attended a summer school in 2019. I obtained a certificate. We had 2 weeks at the WIPO headquarters in Geneva, and 1 week at WIPO headquarters in Geneva and 1 week at the University of Geneva, where we concluded that summer school. IP for youth and teachers, IP youth ambassadors, accessible training portal, judicial training on IP training for diplomats. So this is what the WIPO Academy offers. These are the programs the WIPO Academy offers. So let's go back. Let me see the Explore programs. So like we just spoke of, these are the programs. IP training and skills building programs. Our 4 programs cover a rich portfolio of both specialized courses on IP delivered through a combination. We just read that. So these are the programs. We have WIPO Professional Development Program. And these are some of the pictures so you can see. This is the Professional Development Program. Professional Development Program applies to skills-based approach to the training courses offered with partner institutions to enhance and facilitate the acquisition and practical intellectual property skills by government officials from developing countries, least developed countries, and countries in transition. A professional development certificate is awarded to participants upon the completion of the phases prescribed in the respective program curriculum. So that's for professional development. Let's go to the next program. Here we have distance learning. WIPO Academy distance learning courses. Since 1999, the WIPO Academy has been offering distance learning courses covering all aspects of intellectual property, both professional and those new to the field. We are the only institution offering online IP courses in more than 10 languages. So it's very massive and sophisticated. If you are interested, you can go on WIPO website and, go through these programs if you are interested. Then we have the WIPO University Partnership, a program of which I'm a beneficiary. So the WIPO Academy University Partnership Program support for IP, higher education. The aim of the University Partnership Program is to support access to intellectual property education at the graduate level, especially to participants from developing, least developed, and countries in transition. This is achieved through WIPO Academy Joint Master Program and other support to universities such as curricular development, colloquia, and conferences for IP teachers and researchers and lecturers by IP experts. So let's look at what the WIPO Academy's Joint Master Program in IP entails. Let's look at some of the universities. University Partnership Program curriculum, admission fee, scholarship. So they provide training. These are the master program, the training they provide. Patents, trademark, geographic indication, industrial design. So they just cover all innovation and enterprise. These are all. Apply for WIPO Academy 15 Joint Master Program. So this is what I want to see. You see the format. This is the format. Lecture, case, study, group discussion. Okay. Now, application fees vary. You have scholarship. So I benefited from a scholarship during my time, 2019. So these are the 15 joint program. Right to see Master Degree in Innovation Engineering and Technology Transfer, Carthage University. Master Degree Intellectual Property and Development, KDR School. Joint Master Program in Intellectual Property Innovation, Universidad de San Andrés. Master Degree Intellectual Property, Africa University. Master of Intellectual Property Innovation Management, Singapore University of Social Sciences. Master Degree in Intellectual Property with specialization in Industrial Property, Tongji University. Master of Laws in Intellectual Property, University of Turin. This is where I graduated from. Master of Laws in Intellectual Property and Technology Law, IE University, Madrid, Spain. Master of Law, Intellectual Property specialization in Patent Law and Design, University of Ankara. And so basically, these are all the university programs referring to. So this, I think we can come to a conclusion on this. We have done a lot, covered a lot on WIPO. I think we have done a lot. Let me see the time so I can. I think it's sufficient. So this is it. This concludes our second episode on the World Intellectual Property Organization. We did a lot, covered a lot. So thanks. I hope you go through this episode. I hope you learn some things, some new things on how the World Intellectual Property Organization operates, what distinguishes it from the World Trade Organization in terms of disputes. How does WIPO addresses disputes? Through the WIPO arbitration and mediation system, and WTO addresses disputes through the dispute settlement understanding. So these are two differences, how these two international organizations operate. One of the difference is WIPO is self-financing entirely, almost entirely self-financing institution. They generate almost all their resources. And for WTO is different. Member pay fees, there are donations and all of that. So that's the difference between WTO and the WIPO in terms of the budget support, how they address disputes. So thank you for following. Thank you for your continual support. We ask you to continue to follow, like, share, and comment. We'd like to bring this episode, this final episode, to a close. But before that, we will go to the video one more before concluding. One more. We are going to do this video one more because it's brief and sweet. Straight to the point.
Force that drives mankind's progress. Without innovation, the uniquely human force that drives mankind's progress. Without innovation, your phone wouldn't be smart, there'd be no GPS, no music on the go, and no HD video, stories without special effects, no colour, no sound. And unable to look inside the human body, doctors would be in the dark. The intellectual property system exists to encourage the innovators and creators who make the world a better place. The World Intellectual Property Organization, a specialized agency of the United Nations, helps them do this every day across the globe. WIPO provides a forum where governments debate and shape intellectual property laws, such as copyright laws, to adapt them to the changing needs of our global digital society. WIPO's goal is to make intellectual property work for everyone. WIPO operates international filing systems that make it easier to protect and promote inventions, brands, and designs across borders. Everyone, from individual inventors and small businesses to the world's biggest companies, can file a single application through WIPO's PCT, Madrid, and Hague systems to apply for protection in countries across the world. This saves them time and money. In the last 50 years, WIPO has processed over 4.5 million international patent, trademark, and design applications for everything, from machine tools to medicines to solar panels. And when disagreements arise over IP, WIPO provides arbitration and mediation as an alternative to costly court proceedings. WIPO gives people the tools to use IP effectively, helping people in developing countries to make a living from their ingenuity and creativity. That means more opportunity and more jobs. Innovation requires information. WIPO provides free access to IP information, including more than 55 million patent documents and more than 25 million records of trademarks and designs. And WIPO trains tens of thousands of people every year how to access, learn from, and use all this priceless information. Since its inception over 100 years ago, the global IP system overseen by WIPO has helped create an environment where innovation and creativity can flourish. That means more minds creating new technologies to conquer the world's problems, more music and more ways to listen to it, more art and culture, and more knowledge reaching us in ever-increasing ways. Every day, creative people all over the world are finding new ways to improve our future. WIPO and the intellectual property system help make that happen.
So thank you. This brings us to a close of this episode. Thanks for following. Thanks for your support. We appreciate you. We see you on our next episode coming up soon. This is the Intellectual Property and Trade Nexus podcast, a forum for innovations and trade. Bye.